Hello, my name is Mary Cook. I am the ACT coordinator for Metro Nashville Public Schools. Thank you for your interest in accessing the Mastery Prep platform to provide your 11th or 12th grade student with additional ACT Prep opportunities. This video will show you how to access Mastery Prep through Schoology. No logins and no passwords are needed. Additionally, I'll show you some navigation of the platform so you know where to click to find the information that you're looking for. So I'm going to start on my Schoology page, and this is the process for accessing Schoology for all students, or I'm sorry, Mastery Prep for all students. So start on Schoology, and then there are these 4 boxes in the navigation pane at the top on the right side. Click on those boxes, you will get a dialog box that will open, and you'll see TrueScore. TrueScore is the section of the Mastery Prep platform that you are going to access. So go ahead and click on TrueScore, and then this pop-up box will appear. And so you need to make sure that pop-up blockers are disabled so that you can get to this. And all this does is you're granting permission to TrueScore Mastery Prep to use your background login information for Schoology to also access their platform. This is an agreement that the district has with them, so please feel comfortable. It's not a problem. Go ahead and click approve, and then you'll get this little, this happens on my side. It does not happen with students. You'll get that little graduation cap that you saw processing, and then it will click over into the Mastery Prep platform. Please trust me, it does not work for district level personnel. It does work for students. So don't let this concern you. Once it loads in, this is what you will see. This is the platform that you will see. Just so you know, this is a demo site. This is not actual student data. No students took any of the practice tests through this login that I'm using for this demo site. So please understand that. So this is their landing page. And you can see this demo site I actually use with the teachers so that they can see what the students see. So we've had some teachers go in and do some practice tests. I went in and did some clicking. I put 0 effort into the answers for this, just so you know. But this will be in general what your students will see, what your child will see once they get logged in. If a student did a complete practice test, and this is set on 17A, over here in this left navigation bar, you can see the 17A is kind of highlighted. There are multiple practice tests. I'll show those to you in a minute. But if a student completed all of 17A, all 4 practice tests, you will see these snapshots. This number right here tells you what the score would be for the student for their English. So the student would have, based on just the random clicking that I did, the student would have received a 10 out of 36. 36 is the top score on English, and they got 21 out of 75 questions correct. And then in this bar graph down here, it tells you areas of strength and areas where you might want to do some work for improvement. So again, my random clicking, knowledge of language was an area where if this was an actual student, they would want to concentrate their efforts to improve those skills. Punctuation conventions, this was an area of strength because that bar is longer. Are all of them super long? No. And so all of the areas you might want to provide some attention to, but at least you can get a kind of a snapshot of the skills within a subject area. Same idea for math, reading, and science. This little 12 up here, this would be the composite score that the student would have received based on their performance on 17A in these 4 subject areas. The composite score is just an average of the 4 subject area tests. So that's how you read just the landing page. If you want to get into what the actual skills are within these subject areas, you click this little skill tab, and it will get into more detail. This is within English, more detail within English. Remember I said knowledge of language was an area of concern, and this breaks it down into even more detail. So you can see specifically within that broader area, where should your student work? Same way with organization. So this just breaks down in detail. So participial phrases, that looks like an area of strength. Same way with paragraph division, but then there are other places where none of the bar is filled in, and so none of the questions were answered correctly that assess that particular skill. You can switch your subject area, so English, then I click the math tab, you can see the same type of information for math and reading and science. You can go through each of the subject areas. Then if you want to go through and look at the specific items within that practice test, it tells you which question number, what the answer was that your student provided, what the correct answer was, what skill was being assessed. There are videos that will go through each of those skills, as well as study hall problems, so that you can do some extra practice on that particular skill. So for example, question 4 here, the answer that was given was G, but the correct answer was H, so you know that this one was incorrect. So this is one that you could spend a little more time on. Watch the video, do the practice exercises, and then hopefully you can improve your performance the next time you see a question of that style. Now, I mentioned that there are multiple tests. So the 17A over here, 17B, and 19A, these are tests written by Mastery Prep personnel to mimic an actual ACT. Same length, same number of questions, same style of questions, but they were just written by the Mastery Prep personnel. This bubble sheet test, if you click the little arrow from that, you can see 6 more practice tests open up. These are actually retired ACT tests. And so in total, all juniors and all seniors have access to 9 different practice ACT tests. And so, and this is all at no cost. So this is a great resource to use. All of them will give that same type of dashboard information. Once you complete it, just make sure that you click on whichever test it is that you just completed so that you can see that dashboard. So that's what all juniors and all seniors have access to. The juniors have even more resources available to them. So I'm going to click this little bubble sheet test arrow again. The next thing, this is only juniors now. Seniors, that is the scope of what seniors have access to. It's a 9 practice tests. For juniors, they have access to something called Mastery Resources. You can see all of these lessons are locked. This section is intended to be used within a classroom setting, whether it's the ACT credit-bearing course or the an ACT PLT class, if the student is in one of those. So these would be teacher directed. So the teachers would unlock the lesson that they want to work on with the students, and then the students would have access to the exercises in there. To change subjects, this time you just go up into the right corner and there's little icons of what looks like books. And so you can change, so this is what math is, and you can see it changes color. They've color coded everything. For reading, you can see reading down here. This one's unlocked, and so the student would be able to work on what's called an exit ticket. It's just a quick question, and that helps the teacher assess if the students have learned the information. And then science as well. So these are those lessons. And then this says view book PDFs. So all students have access to a student workbook. Let me back up. All juniors have access to a student workbook. Some schools ordered print versions of the book. Some ordered just ebooks. It's one or the other. It's not both. But students can still, regardless of what their school ordered, they can still see a PDF of the student workbook. And so we happen to be in science, so if you click view book PDF, it'll be student workbook and it will open to science. If you want to get into math, you just come back up here, click on math, view book PDF, and then you can see the student workbook. Again, most of the schools ordered print versions of the book, so check with your school counselor, with your teacher, with your administration to see if they have print books available. If so, those need to be, they're free, you can keep them, you can write in them, so check and get those. Again, all juniors, also coming over here to the left navigation again, all juniors have access to the study hall link. This is where students who are not in an ACT course or not in an ACT PLT class can do some practice with different skills as well. All juniors can get to this. This is study hall is intended to be more independent study, and so this is based on if the student did a practice test, the lessons will pop up based on how they did on that practice test, with the ones that need the most support or the most work happening first. And that's what this recommended filter says. So based on how you performed on this practice test, we recommend you work on these. And you can see this is what the subject area is. These were the questions in that practice test that were done that relate to the subject area. There's a video. You can see there's 3 videos that can be watched here. And then there's some practice exercises as well. If you don't want to go by recommended, you can change this filter to, some other sort that you would like. But the recommended is probably a good place because it is based on the student's individual performance. And again, to change subject areas, just come up here and click on math, and it'll load up with math exercises. Reading will give you reading exercises, and science will give you science exercises. So that's how to get into Mastery Prep from Schoology. One more time, you just click the 4 boxes in Schoology, and then in the pop-up, click TrueScore. And then in that next pop-up box, you will click Approve. Since I've already done it, it's not going to pop up for me again. And then just start working through the platform where would you like. If you are in a class, ask your teacher. If you're in a PLT class, ask your teacher. If you're doing this independently, you can just dive into the practice tests and into the study hall. If you have any questions, make sure you get in touch with your school counselor, your school teacher, your school administration, and they will be able to assist you with any questions or any concerns or challenges that you may have. I hope you found this helpful. Have a great day.